Satlangana first year vets, shoot your shot. No, did not shoot his shot. Lo muntu lona wavele wangidaka ke hare kopana ko ba cool runnings ke hare kopana ko Melrose ako dipating taboo ums re ntse re driver aha hey unjani boy no I'm good yo I'm also good aha woohoo like we were good peoples like that ntse re shapa di hu ha re bona na ko di party re chest bump one party he was even like so when's your birthday and I was like mine is in August he's like mine is in September and I'm like I'm older than you he's like so what age ain't nothing but a number and I was like what do you mean by that he was like nothing he didn't shoot his shot he be asking me my birthday I tell him I'm 1 month. He discovers that we discover that I'm 1 month older than him. So as the woman, I'm older. And then I'm like, yo, hey, you're old. I'm older than you by a month. And then he's like, age ain't nothing but a number. What do you mean by that? I asked him, oh, why is age irrelevant? Because I want to join with you. He didn't say that. He didn't shoot his shot. And then a mere 2 years later, I then meet my boyfriend. And then we all go partying. Dude, what's going on? It's been a minute. We hug. But now all we can be are friends. All we can be is friends. Because I'm dating a boy now. I'm dating a boy now. And you gotta just stand there in the bleachers looking like a skepsel, watching the woman that you adore out here dating and hanging and making out and being all involved with your boy. And so even if I were to break up with your boy, we can't be together because, you know, girl code, boy code. Don't nobody be doing any of that. He didn't shoot his shot. You know when you drag your feet. Yeah, anyway, whatever. That guy that did not shoot his shot. Still, when I think about him today, I'm like, I heard from a friend today. But that happened because he was bitter. What a fish paste. But what I'm trying to get at is that I can potentially be stumbled by him. And then he's like, it's always been you. I mean, imagine a person tabling this value proposition to you. It just sounds like such a juicy business deal. Listen, okay, Karabo, I met you. We met that fateful day in the middle of the gangster year. In 1993. Then 1993, Karabo. Imagine. No, 1993, 4, 5. No, not 1993. Grade 8, 1998. 7, 6, 5, grade 1995, 5, not 3, 5. Yeah, that fateful day. Just imagine that. Imagine somebody tabling this and romanticizing this issue, and you know everybody would love to believe in chance encounters, serendipity. They adore serendipitous encounters, and they like to make them feel special or whatever. But God has a thing about a little sleep and a little slumber and a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will overwhelm you like an armed man and scarcity like a bandit. God likes to say, "Arise, O sleeper, and wake from the dead," and Christ will shine on you. So essentially, God is a big pundit of you snooze, you lose. You snooze, you lose. So you don't get to rock up years later and try and make it all providential and godlike. You don't get to make it special. You don't get to make it pretty. You don't get to sugarcoat it and put Smarties on it like it's a cake. You don't get to do that. God will tell you, you were supposed to arise, O sleeper, and shoot your shot, but you didn't. So now she's somebody else's wife. God has a thing about shooting shots. Y'all didn't shoot no shot. And however, imagine a guy trying to shoot his shot. You all 40 years old and wrinkled now. Everybody is creasing and pendulous. And then this guy bumps into you somewhere somehow. Go parking lot. Not God forbid. Yes, I like to say, out there the few times a guy from Khale that I liked. And my heart actually be skipping beats and him telling me you still look beautiful. I can't. Listen, I can't. Listen, I would reject it, but it would leave me lingering on it for a few days, maybe weeks, and it would just take some patching up and healing that, frankly, why not avoid? Prevention is better than cure. I beg the Lord to not let me bump into anybody that I could potentially be stumbled by. Because hidden in some piping like rodents. Bangangistumblisha. Like a mandoza. Los me 8 jaar nee. Asseblief toch ek Yeah, okay, I've said my piece. Y'all didn't shoot no shot, so don't be coming at me with stumbulation. Don't come at me with stumbulation. These people be coming at you with stamblation, however. So when they come with you with stamblation, bashapeka facey with the rings on it, like what? Knuckle basta, just like in the center, just like and then run, flee, make like Joseph with Potiphar's wife. You all just run with your loincloth taken off. But imagine the guy, I meet him one fateful day, moved from Mayfair Convent to Winchester Ridge Primary, and I am in grade 3 in some class. And it's like a rainy day, and I start school in the middle of the gangster year. Don't nobody know me, I don't know nobody. It's all uncomfortable everywhere. I'm shy. Everybody knows everybody except me. I ain't got no friends. And I walk into this classroom, and there's all these eyes looking at me on some, who's this new child? What can we do to annoy her? Can we pull the hair? Can we take the buttons? Can we steal the lunch? Can we? And I stand there on some, this guy looked like feisty, naked, alright? Okay, no, that wasn't the case. Nobody was me. But what I'm getting at is that I started in the middle of the year, and there was this guy in my class that, like all the little boys never papa, but I remember thinking, he's so cute. I came from my primary school where I was encircled by all these whatever looking guys. Go Mayfair, and then I come to Winchester Ridge, and I'm like, he's so cute. I'm only like, well, how old are you when you were in standard 3, grade 5, that age, right? 12, 11, and I'm like, he's so cute. He's cute. And so I developed like a low-key secret crush on this monstrosity. A low-key secret crush on this monstrosity in my classroom. And I say nothing about it because I'm a child and it's taboo to be having crushes and whatever. But he's there like a bear. And then stories get spread around in the primary school. One of my girls in my class tells me, right, that I guess I got friends, right? And one of my girls in my class is like, let's say his name was, I need to stop giving these weird names. I was going to say Juju B. Anyway, let's say his name is Juju B because I keep on monkey Juby or Juju B. Yeah, so herein lies Juju B. And she's like, oh, Scum, let's on Juju B. Go standard 2. Ha! Ba mo trapile ba mo lahlela mo ga desk ke ngwana ona mo shela ona na le crush on Carol Mole, and Carol a mo trapa mo bisa mo ga desk. And it was like a whole joke, and because of how much he was the laughing stock of the school because of being rejected by Carol, I pretended like I didn't like him. But I remember thinking, yo, Carol rejected Juju B, he's so cute though, but why wouldn't you reject Juju B? You're in primary school, what are you doing dating anyway, right? Yeah, and I ignored my crush. I didn't tell anybody about it. And then in standard 4, grade 6, he was in a different class, and then in standard 5 he was back in my class again, which is grade 7. And all throughout standard 4, I dropped the crush on him to have a crush on another guy, and then I recovered to him. And then in standard 5 or grade 7, that was when then he was in my class, he was all up in my girl, and I couldn't deal. I had really strong feelings. Like, y'all, kids can have strong feelings. And I remember having some pretty haughty feelings for a guy. There was nothing licentious or lustful about it, but it was powerful feelings that linger. Like today, for me, they feel kind of adult. I don't know. Like, whatever. God made it that way. So I had a big crush on him throughout standard 5, and I believe it was mutual. There was strange stuff going on between us. And then, of course, I went to high school. Yaka, he went to his own high school where he went to high school. And then he continued in contact with my girl that he was close with, my girl of which I wasn't close with all throughout primary school, even though we went to the same primary school. Not say close to because we were in different classes. Not that much. We never ever were in the same class. But in grade 8, we were put in the same class in Sir John Adamson. So I became tight with this girl. And when then she told her boy, my crush, that he was like, so who's in your primary school? Like, who's in your high school? Who's in your high school? You know, from primary. And she's like, Karabo, and this and that and that and that and that and that and that and that. And she counts everybody that is in the primary school, that is in the high school, that was from primary school. And then this guy's like, Karabo's there with you, and she's in your class. Oh wow, so how's she doing? And when then he continued to probe and ask questions about me, my friend was like, you like her, obviously. And then he was like, yeah, I have a crush on her, so. And then she was like, well, she's in my class, I can tell her. And then he was like, yeah, go. And then she tells me. And then I'm like, oh, but then he didn't shoot his shot. So now, listen to that story, ne? It's giving cute romantic. It's giving, never mind high school, but primary school sweetheart. You're going to try to make it cute and serendipitous. I know you're going to try and pull a stunt like that, right? but you did go on right ahead to marry some other woman. Not only that, I was with your boy. It could never come together. So you don't get to rock up all these gangster years down the line because I keep dreaming about him. Pulling stunts on me. I walked away from my old ministry and now they miss me. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, herein lies this Okuma Bob, alright? And he went and get a child first and foremost when we were still all together. They'll show me on Facebook and whatever. Don't know who the baby mama was, but then later on I would come to learn that he married another woman. How would I know that? Not another, but a woman. How would I know that he married that lady? Because I kept dreaming about him. And one time when I was going to Shirina suffering, I decided to Google him. And then in his Twitter, I then discovered that he had a wife and a child. And then, of course, I clicked out of it again, right? I wasn't necessarily hurt by him being married because I was never holding him in contempt like that. Mara, like I said, feelings for him never, ever, ever left. Like ever left. And he was my biggest crush, my biggest feelings that I ever had as a little girl. And they lingered into like first year varsity and second year maybe. And I only sort of kind of put them at the back burner when I was not with my ex-boyfriend because my ex was his boy. Mara, there was, always a potential that if a person like that were to say to you, listen, it's always been you. Okay, you're gonna grab your suitcase, and your scarf chair and elope because I'm about to taboo type of stuff that I'll just be making you agree to embarrass all of yourselves because one woman is like, Karabo, but how you going to job with a guy that's your ex-boyfriend's friend? But like, that's just the thing. He was here first. I met him first. That guy came later and I've always liked him. People, when they get older, they be out here justifying nonsense of that nature. Hey, you're 40 years old now and you're dating a dude's cousin that you were with 20 years ago. And it's like, but he's your boy's cousin. He is the cousin of your ex-boyfriend. You can't just Joe. But later on, I still go Joe like the cousin again because it's just that cousin and then later on I discovered the cousin I heard from a friend today and she said you were in town making a taboo out of people embarrassing some ladies, embarrassing some dudes. Like stranger nankare di drunk ka di penti mona mo strateng and ha go ntle a ke go swabile guys go swabile. Yeah, whatever. So imagine this dude, ne? You've gotten that backstory now. Imagine him and I bump into yena. Kwa parking lot in McDonald's, ke tata reka occasion meal. Maybe get restored or maybe I get restored, I get sure. And then instead of give zipper, instead of ignoring me, instead of running away, I like a rodent in some like corner of a jungle or a bush. I decided, hey, I'm gonna mature and I'm also gonna gaslight the living daylights out of Karabo. And I'm going to get out of my car because I recognize her when she's coming out of the McDonald's. And I'm gonna be like, hey, Karabo. And then Karabo looks at him and she's like, Jujubee. Oh, what's good? Yo, I'm awkward because I know you're a witch. I'm awkward because I've gone through years of torture at your hands. People like you. I'm awkward, but then Jujubee decides to gaslight me, and I have been afflicted before by gaslighting. I've been gaslit and believed it. So herein lies Jujubee. Feelings are, I mean, that's just the thing. If you like the person really strongly and they still look good, you're gonna look at them and your heart is gonna be like, I heard from a friend today, and she said you were in town. Suddenly, so you see Jujubee and because you're scared that you just met somebody that is essentially your enemy, but he's acting cool, like ain't nothing giving, like gaslighting tactics. Jujubee then is like, are you good? How you doing? And I'm like, fine. You trying to act like all cool, and then he's like, I'm good. Then it's like, I saw you coming out of the McDonald's and I saw that I literally just could not let you slide or go. I've been wondering what's going on with you. By the way, you look really good still. I mean, but you have always been beautiful though, so that's not a secret, that's not a private thing. Anyway, yeah, that proper, imagine, right? Like, imagine that. Never mind, like, you are, okay, so here he calls you, go McDonald's, you go towards him, LinkedIn. And the first thing he does is give you this long, like 5-second hug. And it's like, but we're enemies. Maragana got thing inside that hug. I mean, this is Jujubee from grade 5, yo, like, yeah, it's that guy from first year varsity, dog. Like, come on, this is the guy that asked me about my birthday and then said that age ain't nothing but a number. I'm just 1 month older. It's that guy. And I mean, all these years have progressed. I mean, it's been 20 years. Come on, it's Masingaga. And who knows, he's probably not even all that tight with my ex anymore anyway. Plus, he wasn't even so much my ex's friend as he was my ex's brother's friend. So they were, by association, met with each other. But my ex's brother has since then passed away. So He's probably not even in my ex's life. I don't know. Like when you are just having ideas running through your mind because you are ensconced in the warm, enveloping hug of a man you've always loved. I heard from a friend today, and she said you were in town, and suddenly, and then after that squishy hug, he then starts to be like, "Are you good? Wow, you still look good. Flattery, Asha, taking you everywhere and back. All right, and then you go home." On time, yeah. Anyway, it was good to see you. So peace out in the peace in the Middle East. Peace, girl. Yeah, peace. Bye. Bye, girl. Bye, child. Bye, goodbye. Yeah, but I mean, is everybody not out here contacting everybody on social media now? Somehow he finds you. He doesn't take your number at that stage, but then 3, 5, 10 days later, a week later, you be out here getting a WhatsApp from this strange number you don't recognize. And he's like, "Yo, what's up? I've been," and wait again, and I say WhatsApp because I've had a dude from Galenje fella, okay, guy WhatsApp me on my number that is, nobody has it from history from the past, yet he found it. So angazi ukuthi niyenza kanjani ukuthola amanamba wabantu, but nyawathola. And then next thing you'll be actually getting a WhatsApp, rocking up all up in your uneasy streets from this dude, right? And you don't recognize the number, you don't recognize the photo, nothing. If anything, the photo I want because you have not yet saved his number because those are your settings or his. And then you read the WhatsApp, and in the WhatsApp he's saying stuff like, he's like, "Hey, what's up? I know this is odd, but I found your number from here. I just could not stop thinking about you ever since that other day. It's been so long, and man, goodness, like you look really good. You look really beautiful. I was wondering if you just wanted to continue chatting. What's up? How or never mind who ban lona." But he says it's Juju B. Like at the end, he's like, "Juju B, this is my number." Hey, Batung, if you're carnal and you're worldly and you're not like K out you're blocking some crazies that are trying to reignite some feelings in you, you will be like, "Hey, what's good? I didn't know that you could get my number that way, but anywho, nah, you looked alright yourself also. It's cool, listen, it's water under the bridge, whatever." And then you end up, you know, people who end up in these strange affairs. Jujubi is married, right? Women who let themselves have affairs with married men. You have a crush on your guy, and you know that it's in your heart. And then you tell yourself, you're not gonna let it get anywhere. You're just gonna flirt because it feels nice to just be flirted with and be told you're wonderful, excellent, stellar, and spectacular. To be told you're pretty, you're beautiful, you're being flattered. You've been feeling kind of flat these days, and so this guy's a confidence boost, like proper, I'll take it. However, I'm not gonna run with it because, come on, relax, blah, blah, make like a flower. I'm not that kind of girl. Anastasia. Yeah, I'm not that kind of girl. This is not my kind of world. No, it's not for me. From where I wanna be. Woo! Yeah, but I mean, if you're gonna let yourself linger on a conversation with a guy because it feels nice, it feels lekker. It feels really awesome, this thing. I mean, yo, this is, come on, like this is Juju B from grade 5, dog. Relax, like it's innocuous. It's good old times. It's old school days. And then you carry on talking with Juju B all night long, right? You carry on talking with Juju B on WhatsApp to a point where you are deliberately ignoring Tabaya Hore. It's after 9, and you also shouldn't be talking to no males or no females that's the opposite sex after that time without it being clear what's going on in these streets, unless you're in a study group. So you're talking with Juju B. You know he's married, and you know that WhatsApp chatting with a wife that's unsuspecting. And then he starts to get, and then y'all start to reminisce about, remember Mrs. Thurston in grade 4 and how she kicked us out that day, and we were just out there in the rain and we were punished and made to this actually did happen, but not with him, with another friend of mine. We were busy hitting our heads with a ruler in standard 5, Mrs. Volmerans. One minute. My friend and I were playing with the rulers like that on our heads, and our teacher made us go outside. Yes, teachers, I told you about the panty parade in Mayfair Convent. Well, this is now Winchester Ridge Primary, standard 5, grade 7, and this teacher being annoyed with us hitting our heads with rulers while she is teaching, then sends me and my girl outside of that class. And I think it was the exact same girl with whom I was like basically made to be humiliated in front of assembly for the panty parade. I told you about the panty parade. I'm not gonna get into it. She followed me from Mayfair Convent to Winchester Ridge Primary she was like that. Like, I would go to a school, and then a year later she would join me in that school. It wasn't anything that was planned. It was fortuitous. The parents just so happened to do it that way. And I think I was with this friend again. It's like, girl, we keep experiencing the same stuff under these teachers. Like, what's good? But we're hitting our heads. I get it at 5. My friend and I were in the same class as Juju B, right? Because I get Juju B was in my class, so my friend was in my class with Juju B, and this friend of mine and we are out in maths class under Mrs. Volmerans. And we're bored in maths, we can't focus, and we're hitting our heads. And Mrs. Volmerans gets irritated with this activity, and then she's like, you over there, Karabo. And they say my friend's name was Lerato. She's like, Karabo, Lerato, come here. And we're like, huh? And so we go to the front, and the teacher is like, these rulers of yours, see as you like hitting yourselves in the head, go outside. The class, the grade 7 class, yeah, maths, was 1 floor up, and it was a balcony overlooking like Johannesburg. There was a balcony overlooking Johannesburg. Like, you could see much of like the neighborhood from there, because it was kind of like the first floor. It was perched, it was high. And Mrs. Volmerans is like, Karabo, Lerato, come here. Go outside and stand by the balcony over there, since you like hitting your heads with the ruler, and say, let's say this is a ruler. You know those rulers that 30 centimeters? Let's say this is not straight enough. I want something straight, man. Where am I gonna find something straight and thin like a ruler? I can't. This will do. We were doing this good lesson while she was teaching. We were like super bored. I think she was teaching fractions, trying to get us to grasp it, and we were not trying to hear any of that. So my girl and I are sitting good desking, and towards her, we're not making a noise, but we keep doing this. And she got annoyed. She calls us, and she's like, bring those rulers with you. So we bring the rulers to the front. And she's like, go outside. We go. And she's like, stand by the balcony and scream at the top of your voice. Hey, Johannesburg, look what I can do. Mrs. Volmerans made us go outside and say at the top of our voices, hey, Johannesburg, look what I can do. Juju was in our class. And so he witnessed that. Everybody was standing by the window watching us hosing themselves while my friend and I were made to say with our rulers, hey, Johannesburg, look what I can do. Teachers, listen, anybody with a good memory from Standard 5, Goku, Winchester Ridge would know that, would remember this day. We stood there with rulers, and our teacher made us hit our heads because we annoyed her, and she made us scream louder and louder on something. It's not loud enough. Say it louder. Say it louder. Hey, Johannesburg, look what I can do. We went back into class and stopped doing that. But imagine Juju B on some, yo, Karabo, remember that day in grade 5? Comments, Mrs. Volmerans made you and Lerato go outside to hit your heads with a ruler and say, hey, Johannesburg, look what I can do. And then when he brings this up, these are now two 40-year-olds. When then he brings this up, what's gonna happen? Like, somebody tell me. It's giving nostalgia, it's giving memories, it's giving nobody else was there but you. It's giving we came up together. It's giving but we were just children, baby, while we're young. Like, it's giving memories that don't make no sense, but God says, arise, O sleeper, awake from the dead, and Christ will shine on you. And a little sleep, a little slumber, and a little folding of the hands to rest. So, and poverty will overwhelm you like an armed man, and scarcity like a bandit. You knew you liked me, Hona, when I was like, oh, hey, Johannesburg, look what I can do. And Mrs. Vomerans, you were there, dude. You were there. And in grade 8, you had contact with my girl. In first year, we were at Wits. Now we were old enough for Jola, and both of us were single at the time. Of orientation week, stuff like that, okay? Yeah, you kept seeing me around campus. We kept going to the parties like Melville, Gaufela, cool runnings and whatnot. You remember? You remember? And every time we saw each other, it was like, yo, girl, what's going on? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Like little monkeys. We were always really good peoples. Like, never any bad blood, never any funny shade. We were good peoples. And you left it at Mpinjim Pinjo vibes. You left it there. You left it at, yo, girl, how are you doing? I see you. You left it at chest bumping me and fist bumping me. Out here acting like I'm one of the boys. Hey, Johannesburg, look what I can do now is gonna make me an adulteress? For real, though. Hey, Johannesburg, look what I can do is now gonna make out of me an adulteress. Is that what we're doing? Like, come on, y'all. Like, proper, there is only one life, YOLO. Alright, you only live once, but you can die twice, a second death. The lake of fire. And in that place, the smoke of your torment rises up forever, and there is weeping and gnashing of teeth. You will go to hell for bringing back strong feelings in a person and exploiting memories you shared about Johannesburg, the ruler, and the angry teacher, and laugh at it, and out here be giggling underneath your sheets while your wife thinks that you're just on WhatsApp because you're always on WhatsApp before you go to bed at night. Kanti, you are chatting first thing in the morning. Hey girl, how you doing? I'm good. Like, all day long you're chatting until you then say to her, after you reminisce about, hey, Johannesburg, look what I can do. After reminiscing about that, you then are like, yo, you know, I've always liked you, like since grade 5, like since when you were brand spanking new, looking all timid in front of the class in the middle of the year. I saw you and I just never stopped looking at you. I was just scared, intimidated. I was just a boy. And I even asked your girl in grade 8 if at all, like, because she said you were in your class. I asked her to tell you, but then she didn't give me a report afterwards that came back that made me feel any kind of way. And first year go Wits, I was tempted, but like, hey, you look like you were not interested. I've always really liked you. And then when I found out that you were dating my boy, I was like, I guess it is what it is. And then Karabo actually be responding with, I mean, you know, life happens, dude. Like, life totally happens. Life totally happens. I also had a crush on you in grade 5, but, you know, they are actually telling me that Carol threw you into a desk, and so I thought you were unpopular, so I wanted to let you go because of that. And then later on, you were just a boy, and I was a girl, and I was never about to confess to anybody that I had a crush on you. Maralena, why didn't you say anything in first year? Because that was your time to shoot your shot. Like, Papa, if you missed high school, if you missed primary, I could never have dated then. But if you missed high school, you could have shot your shot in varsity, and you didn't shoot your shot. You did not shoot your shot. And then he's like, well, what if I shot it now? What? I mean, that's the kind of stuff that I should be giving. Da-na-na-na. If you could hook up a movie, like some violins in the background and everything. You didn't shoot your shot in varsity. What if I shot my shot now? I mean, dude, like, I'm wincing just at the thought of that. Like, it's like, yo, hey, come on, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Karabo is still alien single, never been married. This guy is in a marriage, and he's trying to shoot his shot now that he's 40, married with a couple of kids. You will literally think in the spirit of nostalgia and say, but he was here first, and this here is how the universe brought us together. When the Lord will say stuff like, arise, O sleeper, awake from the dead, and I will shine on you. A little sleep and a little slumber and a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will overwhelm you with an armed man, scarcity like a bandit. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. I am God, and I've made you man, head over woman. You are to pursue. You didn't shoot your shot. You messed up. what you call this, all those clubs that you all went to. There were so many avenues at different spots. High school, grade 8, her girl was in her class and you were in contact with her. First year varsity, la kopa. Carried on partying, out here painting Johannesburg red, Norwood. Music going. When's your birthday? You were supposed to shoot your shot. Later on, when she came to Christ, you might have followed her and the two of y'all would have gone to the sunset together and gotten married. Even though you started out carnal, you would have ended up together, because I get it, you believe that this here God brought you together. Well, all the shots you had, you did not shoot your shot. And now that my 40-year-old daughter and you 40-year-old prodigal, or you 40-year-old sinner, rebel, miscreant, you are trying to make an adulteress out of my child, who would never have been an adulteress if you had shot your shot at first year varsity, shot your shot throughout the party scene in Melville, shot your shot throughout the party scene in Sandton, shot your shot throughout the party scene in Norwood, shot your shot throughout just bumping into each other at random restaurants, and then be like, yo, what's good? And then instead of chest bumping, you should have just taken her number. But you decided to treat my girl like she was one of your boys, until one of your boys ended up shooting his shot. I would have arose on you and rescued you together in a marriage, because y'all would have come to me only later after random stuff happened. But you would have shot your shot, because that's what I gave men the prerogative to do. I said, Adam, go shoot your shot with Eve. And when Adam tarries, a little slumber and a little sleep and a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will overwhelm you like an armed man, and scarcity like a bandit. Oh, Adam, you did not shoot your shot, so leave this particular Eve alone. You've got a wife, you're greedy. Hold on to the breast of the woman of your youth. Latch on to her. That's the one that you shot your shot concerning, and then you walked her down the aisle. Don't then rock up, now that you still got grade 5 feelings for Karabo, and say, oh, what if I want to shoot my shot now? You're gonna send my daughter to hell. Like, hak freestat. Los ons, stop romanticizing inyongo. So now that I've told you a story, Sega Jujubee, as to how that could have happened, because Jujubee has come at me plenty of times with witchcraft. One time I got a dream of him coming to me and shaking me and saying, I would have married you. You didn't shoot your shot. And I've done a video of that nature before, where I'm like, stop saying you would have married me, because if you could not shell at me, then what makes you think you would have gotten down on your knees and proposed? After that, you did nothing. Shoot your shot. Herein lies now Jubee. I get it, this was Jubee, the one wako MTN. Jubee too also did not shoot his shot. And I keep getting dreams about Jubee. I keep getting dreams about my ex-boyfriend, whom we shall call Tepang, right? Naye. Yena he unaliwe, siena Tepang watenge, that basically was the bane of Jujubee's existence, because he was Jujubee's friend while Jujubee met me first. This guy, I was with him for 5 years. He shot his Shellington shot. At least Abutina, I'll give you that. Mara hanere jola aseke go drega di fiti ke enge ha wansa mandonda ha wansa lobola hawa propose abuti ha gona bo vuma bo makhwenyane ba etsa getseng ha ona go fiela mabala ha gona dikilili ba ya chata ngamhlanje, it's a wedding day. Ha gona ngwana tshwang le bone o tshwana le khalate. None of that ever happened, even though uma wakho megamthanda like a fat kid loves cake. Your mother loved her. Everybody ejacting megamthanda. Wonke umuntu maqanga uthi lo muntu is going to be the future wife. Everybody never set in stone. Ke hane iblane Karabo ne setswa mo planet se name ya hao. Kwena abuti eseng batho ba ko heno, kwena abuti ha ona o mong motho o sentseng nako wa drega mantu jwanong batla lo tsaya crank hey actually in these uneasy streets. Best yomenza is second wife and adulteress, breaking the heart of, even though the Leia did not have any regard for my heart, I will give her amnesty, because she's not born again and I'm born again now, so I'm the bigger person, so I will have that mercy. Misty Blue, and baby, just the thought of you for crank because of the fact that you did not shoot your lobola shot. Other guys are bashelanga at on. So when I get dololo engwe e hard no ke strong e extreme, wena mara o jose le cherry wa dilly wa dance around wa ketsa kangaroo wa kenza pere, and you galloped in the field and thought you've got time. Umyumtana wa phuma kuwe ujesu wamsindisa, so she never went back. And now all these years down the line, after umravaza kabuhlungu njena, because you discover ukuthi usase single and she's still viable, usase muhle, because how you flatter us ngendaba yokuthi sisase hot. Now you like, I should have shot my shot, I should have married you. Nah, you slept. A little sleep and a little slumber and a little poverty and a little folding of the hands to rest, and people be out just stealing your medi, and that's what happens, okay? Unorwala o khona uzwa ditete hole hard no kwa halatosis engwe ya mhlaba mo samelo ole yellow ke ditete tsa hao sis tsenang le plug Karabo a tsena a tsogile a tswile ko wena wa senya nako wa drega difiti jwanong a go batle and never mind ukungakufuni angizoba mina i-adulteress so anginandaba then noma ngabumpa into wena via at a funeral because proper a couple of years after we broke up before we had this horrible falling out because we were still cordial sometime after we broke up. Yeah, one of my cousin's boyfriend's dad passed away and mutual friends, so we both went to the funeral, of course separately because now nearly broken up. I was heavy and hot for Christ at that stage. Mara, this is my guy, like proper. I was with him for 5 years. Like as in best, we hung out together. We was tight even though negan Kenya. We get I was a periscope. It's just that he was dragging his feet, and that's why I was always trying to leave. Yeah. So manje, I'm out here healed, I'm in Christ, and then we go to the funeral of this guy's dad, right? This friend of ours' dad, my cousin's boyfriend's dad dies, and we go to the funeral, and my mom is there because I get in my cousin, this guy, so it was like he was family already, even though or whatever. So abazali were there, like my cousin's parents were there, my mom was there, etc. Type establishment thing to show respect. So I went to that funeral with my mom. My older sister was also there, etc. So you support that this guy, and my ex goes, of course, because his boy's dad died, right? Joe. Hey, my ex he went there with his best friend, and my mom and I parked. My mom's car parked basically where it parked, and my ex drove by with his boy, right? They went together, and they stopped the car because my ex recognized my mom's car and my mom's number plate, and rolled down the window. And when I looked over, it was him, like bleeding. Have you ever, as a woman on your period, stood up and then suddenly open the floodgates of heaven? You understand when I live flood and hectic, or you sneeze, you think you're safe, and then flood. Yeah, your period can be like that. Well, the same flood that you get when you unsuspectedly are yet to change your tampon or your sanitary pad, the same sudden flood that you get that way when you're on your period. I got it, but in my heart, for my ex, a flood of feelings that just suddenly came unexpectedly because I sneezed. And what was the sneeze? The sneeze was seeing him. Yo, my heart. I was like, that's my guy, that's my man. You're like, what's going on? Like, why is he there and I'm here? I was literally sitting in born again child of the living God, Spirit of God coursing through my veins. I'm convicted, I'm consecrated, I'm always praying. I'm strong now as a saint. Do you understand? Get strong as a Christian. I'm resolved. I'm not gonna marry an unbeliever. My ex, I'm done with him. I've conquered strong men that were sitting on my chest because of Buluibahai. And I was like, but that's my man. He's not supposed to be there and me here. We did everything together. We were supposed to come to this funeral song. I was thinking nonsense like that. Hello ma, hi Karabo, because I was with my mom. His boy also agrees to Melang, etc. Yeah, well, the whole day was awkward. Marana, I was gonna determine, because even though my feelings returned to me, I was resolved in Christ, and I knew that this is not gonna work with this guy. So, what do you call this thing? So I mean, you know how after Mafu, when people are in the world, they still stay puzwama savara nama hantastra, nama amstel nama hansa, nama vodka. Kya puzwanje, akuna ruliness. It's all debauchery, and I was no longer part of that scene. After paying my respects, I cordially, when my mom went home, because you know abadala bazohamba early, batlotsamaya fruhu, nothing worse than going to mukete lemme abatlotsamaya ka 7. Everybody's still there until 10, and you're the only cousin that don't know what happened for the rest of the night. Yeah, this time around, instead of being an upset kid because my mom left the party at 6, I was the happy kid because my mom left the party at 6. Like, when my mom left, I remember my older sister being like, I'll drop you off at home. They wanted me to get back together with him. I was like, I'm going home. I'm not gonna hang here and chat with my ex and look at him and be like, how you doing? Nah, I'm good. Yeah, my ex, like, not only did he cause my heart to be like Vo when he was in the car, after everything, when we were sitting down eating, he then came in, Yako this guy's house. And when I saw him at the corner coming, I thought again. My heart just kept on palpitating. I looked at him and I was like, but that's my guy, dog. Like, oh, Daki here, what's going on? It just was so unfamiliar. It's been 2 years since we broke up. when my feelings were out here blowing steam all up in my grill like an angry lady in the mall after they reject her return, I was like, you know what, gouge your heart, for from it flows the issues of life. Gouge out your eye and cut off your hand. Get out of the situation that's hot. The Bible says that nobody puts coals on their lap and then expects not to burn. I saw my ex as coals, and again I got thinking he was already busy with Mega witchcraft and we're different to try and bring me back. Mara, I was not going back. When I lived very awkward. He was extremely awkward. Mara, we were still kind of chatty and what have you, and you could tell, like when I was talking and gesturing, get say hey, no, but yo, what's a ho ho ho, oh Mara, ABCQ, oh ha ha, the same girl that I always was. I was that thing, right? And he was just staring at me the whole time and then looking away and then staring and then looking away. And the whole time I was just like, there is a presence here that is extremely stumbling. So ha mme wa ka a itlheka a tsamaya a khutlela jarateng ke kena koloing le ena hona motho ng sadisang pating mona se pati ke lesu go fedile kopante fela re phutheng dijeresi tsa rona ke ha re ka diapara re keneng koloing re itlhekeng re hae re utlwa mareu a transport a re yeng hae ka tsamaya guys ka tsamaya ke you know when you walk away from a situation, the eyes at the back of your head are still looking at what's going on back there. Like you want to turn your head and then lock eyes with this person and then him schmuck at you, you schmuck. And then that's his cue to be like, I'm going to try and call her and see what she's going to say. I did not want my ex calling me. I did not want him writing me an email, nothing, saying, Karabo, I miss you. Come on, can we talk? Because when I was leaving, I was actually looking at him like, I was actually looking back on some ish. Yo, that's my guy. I refused to let him get even a small little whiff or a hint that I still wanted him. That I still loved him. I don't want him, but I still had feelings, right? Type setup thing. I refused to let him stumble me because I knew I was stumbleable. The entire journey on my way home in my mom's car. Whatever we were talking about, my mind was on him. And it took 2 weeks for that thing to dissipate. It took dust and shit. That like proper, it was like radiation poisoning that you can't return to a zone after a couple of years of the air clean. That situation was giving Fukushima nuclear disaster. I'm sure it was radioactive. And so if I did not hunker down, if my ex had exploited that for any season, I might have found myself, just for the sake of it feeling really nice and really good, chatted with him until, look at me, be unequally yoked with an unbeliever, even though we started out both being unbelievers. It just would not have worked. So I exercised self-control, and like I said, this thing faded in 2 weeks. 2 weeks for much that you were not thinking about laboring on kapelo. It's long because you saw them once. So if at all, you can have soot or radiation linger on you for 2 weeks after you walk away from somebody that caused you to be stumbled. If it took 2 weeks, then can you imagine how disastrous it is when you accommodate a WhatsApp, when you accommodate a text message, when you accommodate a phone call, when you accommodate an email? I mean, if 2 weeks of you lingering on him, communicate with anyone more. If radiation can linger for that long, then the thing that is a catalyst for another nuclear explosion is you responding to an email. That's not going to last 2 weeks, it's going to last 2 years. That's going to make you marry an unbeliever. That's going to make you displease God. That's going to make you return to fornication. That's going to water you down, etc. That's going to make you dive in full on into a relationship that you rightly left because Christ called you out from the world. Make like a flower and chill and bloom. Because very content until because the irresponsible dulang stupu. Leave a lot of things behind. Anyway, whatever. So you can understand how Juju B would have stumbled me, or Tsebang, ex-boyfriend. Well, now we're talking about Juby, the guy that I thought was my future husband altogether. The one that I thought I was going to go into the sunset with. The one in whose eyes I saw my children. The one in whose eyes I saw an elderly man, at the bedside of which I was nursing him, because duh, men always die first. A man with that kind of future promise in your eyes. The feelings there. Get my swabby wasted guys. Twang monacheka swape. Twang. Give it twang my life. Okay. Twang. Like a guy over mokubang kontlung cause you like the way. Twang. Alrighty. e re nje fela ke le tlotlele ntho tse kima tse di telele ka Juby I ke go nlelekisitse down the stairs and the two of us were huffing and puffing to the church. Anyway, Juby then gives me a Christmas hug. I heard from a friend. Never mind, I heard from. Like, when I think about that hug and that moment, I was like, yo, but this guy is like, he feels like Sunday morning. Yo, he felt like Sunday morning. He felt like a hammock, like a rest dog. He felt like your bed after coming from like party where you were drinking some pretty cold, nasty, abusive alcohol, and then you get home into an electric blanket and you just sleep and you don't wake up until 2 or 3 days later with a hard knock babalas. That guy felt like that kind of chill after that kind of extra discomfort. He was easy like Sunday morning. I could, like, in that one hug, like, you know, movies are so dramatic. They're so drama-mamified, okay? They're so incredibly, like, theatrical. So they will show a person hugging somebody or shaking somebody's hand, and then they get like a premonition. And in this premonition, they see children being born, flowers blossoming. They see a crush of kids in a house warm with dumpling in the oven, and they think to themselves, this is my baby boo. Yeah. Like, imagine National Geographic type graphics out here taking close photographs of a future that you can all of it see flashing right in front of your eyes just because you are, like, temporarily for but 5 seconds ensconced in a hug with someone that you think, I see you in a different light, candlelight. And it's alright, I see you in a different day, in a different way, and it's so right. I see you when I don't want to see anyone before, and I never want to see any more. You be out giving Shantae more, even though it's a broken version. Like Louis Armstrong, and you think to yourself, what a wonderful world. You will see all that stuff. You will see all that stuff when you're inside the hug of a guy that you are just all too familiar inside. The next day, back because it's Saturday. Yeah, that guy was easy like Sunday morning. Like, what in the world? He was easy like I just felt at home. I could have napped, yo. I could have totally napped. I could have just napped in that hug. I hugged him, he hugged me, he stopped me on some hey stop over there. Tomorrow's Christmas. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Have it yourself a merry little Christmas. Eat yourself some pudding pie, and next year all your troubles will be under the water. That guy actually be giving me a Christmas that felt like the movie Home Alone. Beautiful. Okay, yeah, so in this hug that lasts like 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, cool. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. I'm not a crazy lady, so I'm not gonna linger another 5 seconds in a hug. Like you've just lost a loved one and I'm still hugging you in the office building. Because that's the only thing that can justify that kind of long hug in the office. Otherwise, if you're in public, everybody be thinking that you are PDAing, you are dating, and you are just hugging your lover. You gotta say goodbye, my lover. Goodbye, my friend. You gotta say goodbye, my lover, because you're in the office now. But I promise you, if we had hugged out there in the wilderness, it might have lingered longer. Like, I don't know. It was only because we were in the office. And in it, I felt like, have yourself a merry little life at all. Where you're gonna have 3 kids and a picket fence. Maybe 5, maybe 7. And it's gonna be wonderful. I felt right at home. He was easy like Sunday morning. Felt warm like a cushy sponge. But you see, a cushy sponge without character, whatever. God is amazing. We are made in his image, so certain facets of us are cushy like a sponge. That's what's good. But then there are other facets that actually be confusing a lady after you be cushy like a sponge. Like a guy that's like a violent volcano right next to a still, quiet lake. I once had a boss tell me I'm that thing in an appraisal or some Karabo, you know your character, the way you carry yourself. Sometimes you're like a still, quiet lake, but other days you're like a violent volcano. What do you mean, boss? Yeah, that's that level of ambivalence in a human being. And if at all they're not regulated by the Spirit of the living God, that volcano, when it erupts, it's giving molten lava, it's giving lake of fire, it's giving where the worm dieth not. In that place there is weeping and gnashing of teeth for all of eternity, and the smoke of your torment will rise up forever. It's giving. Flee! Leave the volcano. Leave the volcano, even though, listen, I get it. The still quiet lake, you be out here picnicking outside of it. You be out here hearing the chatter of some children. You be out here buying some ice cream from a truck with a violin noise, like a ding 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 ding. You know these trucks that are ding ding ding, soft serve. You be out here buying ice cream from a soft serve truck. And they fit, and you're like, oh, but I want the rum and raisin right next to chocolate and vanilla. I want them all, baby. And then he buys you rum, raisin, chocolate chip, and vanilla ice cream in a cone with many colors like Joseph's coat. And you're like, oh, he's so sweet. He bought me that wonderful, mysterious ice cream. And then tomorrow, tectonic plate, it's giving volcanic eruption, earthquake, it's giving disaster, tempest, it's giving, like I said, meteorological disaster. That'd be all the weathers in one fell sweep, not across seasons, but literally just a week. When you be out here buying me rum and raisin, vanilla, chocolate chip, ice cream in a cone of many colors like Joseph's coat, and then tomorrow you're passing me shade, tomorrow you're cheating on me, tomorrow you're buying some other crazy lady that rum and raisin ice cream, tomorrow you are, and then 10 years later I'm HIV positive because you slept with a man, because you were effeminate in the closet and I didn't know it, because you were afraid and take him out of the water. And then another 5 years down the line from there, because I decided to stay with you, there then comes, in spite of our collective HIV positive result, and yeah, see, that has got your third child after we had two. You impregnated and yeah, see, only HIV positive. Those are your issues. You forgave him, you reconciled, you stayed together. And then there is a Nyati lady out there knocking on your door that's a good 12 years younger than you, with a swanger belly, walking around like a duck, and it's your husband's child, and your kid's half kid, half brother, half sister, or half sister, and you are like, but I was having myself in that hug, a merry little Christmas, and now it's the Grinch that stole Christmas. Next year all your troubles will be in a cell, cause I'm gonna kill you. You only had yourself to blame. You're now strangling a guy. You've got murder on your hands now. You be making like Rihanna, you just shot a man down in Central Station in front of a big whole crowd, and don't nobody care. You're wearing orange in a dangari in prison because he had to die.